YouTubers, family and friends, good morning on this early morning, about 7:30 a.m. in the Philippines in northwestern Mindanao. And I'm walking the second half or the second mile this morning to my coconut property. And this here is the neighbor's property, and I don't know if these cows are actually his, but some of them are, some of them aren't. They kind of do because it's such a nice area for grazing cattle. The neighbor has, some cattle, and then he kind of leases the grasslands to other neighbors that have cattle like that, right? So this is right next to the road. There's the road right there, if you can see it. That's the cement road that they're doing construction on right now. And that's where I turn off the main road. Going this way is to the barangay. I just walked the mile through the barangay from my house, and then there's one of the construction flagmen right there. And then I take this road here. We're just gonna go on a walkabout this morning. I'm gonna do a video just on the walkabout, going through the jungle to on the little trails and little roads, this last mile to my property. And yes, I own the property with my Filipino wife. We have joint ownership. She owns 60%, I own 40%. That's how it works when you're married to a Filipina, as far as sharing percentage of land value. So you guys don't believe me, go to your local Philippine lawyer's office and check it out. But that's the way it is in the Philippines. So don't believe all this, foreigners can't own land. It's not a blanket statement like that, guys. It is if you say single foreigners cannot own land, then that's a true statement. But if you're married to a Filipina, and a lot of the guys that have your 13A visa, I'm in the process of getting my 13A. I should have it by next year. It's a long process, but I'm still on your Bilik Bayan visa, and that's when you fly into the country with your Filipino spouse. You get 1 year free in the country instead of your 30 days if you were by yourself flying into the country. So like I say, this whole property here, it's just beautiful area for cattle. I mean, you can see out down there they've cleared all this, and it's all this beautiful grassland going, ridge to valley. That's what this area is lots of small ridges and valleys. And then so the cattle graze the grass, and then the coconuts are harvested 2 to 3 times a year, right? So that's how you that's how you can sustain yourself in the jungle of the Philippines. So, I mean, plus we have, we're on our homestead, we're building, we grow our own fruits and vegetables, we have lots of fruit trees, which, by the way, all those big, thick, dark trees right in there, that's a grove. It's a massive old grove of rambutan fruits, and they harvest every August through November, and that's how long that tree produced this year, from August till November. And those ones there, there was all kinds of people coming and picking them. So they kind of because it's so many, they just get their fill, and the owners get their fill, then they just open it up to the community, and they come in and share in the fruits, which is really cool. And we do that too with some of our rambutan, because we have more rambutan than anything. We had a lot of lasuni this year though too. And if you ever come to the Philippines, those are your mainstay province fruits that are harvested from the August to November time frame. It's still a little bit slippery of mud here. It rained pretty hard last night, but it's February now, almost the middle of February, and so in February you're going to start to get some sunny mornings. The springs and the falls, you get this real sunny mornings, then in the afternoons and evenings it rains. That's usually how it happens in this area. Now, you all been asking about weather patterns and stuff. Well, you can't just go to the Weather Channel and look at on the Philippines or on a YouTube and look for Philippines weather channels. You guys don't understand that in Mindanao, in the very southern state, there's 3 states in Philippines, right? Mindanao, when it's a rainy season here, in the north, in Luzon, it's the sunny, dry season. And then it's, they're the opposites of each other. And then it's a mix of the two of the islands in between Luzon and Mindanao. And those are your 2 biggest islands in the Philippines. So here we're continuing down the trail. And basically this is a road, makeshift road, it's a lot of rock. It's really not maintained. It was fixed up a little bit since this piggery down here was built a couple years ago. But it's just like a muddy tote road is what it is. And then there's the neighbor's house. That's the one that kind of, he's the tender of a lot of the cattle that's on these lands around here. I think they have about between 40 and 60 hectares. And when I say hectares, guys, hectares is, so my plot, or our plot of land here is 5 hectares, which you double that in acres. So you double your hectares, and that gives you your acres. So this is 10 acres of land here where we're going. So as you can see, they put a lot of rock on this road going down. And see, this road was never here before, branching off from the neighbor's house. This was just a 4-wheeler trail or a little walking path, but they had to widen it and put rock down because of this piggery down here, right? And this here is a coconut steaming shack of the neighbors from his property. So it's still kind of, that's the thing, from November through February, it's pretty much a constant rain and terrible weather, guys, here in the rainy season in Mindanao. So if you have a way to be in Luzon from November through February, that's the key. Be in northern Luzon during that time, but then once Luzon starts their rainy season, it's massive hurricanes, typhoons, whatever you want to call them, and northern Luzon gets just hammered. But from November to February, like I say, it's beautiful weather there. And then here, we don't get the typhoons here in Mindanao. It's very rare. We do, but it's very, very rare that we do. And we're on the leeward side of the island, we're the northwestern side of the island. So then here's the next branch of the trail. Those are the guard dogs. That's the piggery. They just built that like two and a half years ago. And then we just came down this hill here, and then now we're branching out into this little 4-wheeler trail that I've made with my 4-wheeler. This used to be a walking path. And like I say, guys, everything is just green and lush and always wet. And even in the dry season, in the early morning, you get this dew that just waters everything. It's just amazing. And that's the way it used to be in the very early times of the earth. This dew would water everything, and there was no rain. There was no rain. For centuries there was never any rain. It was only the dew of the morning that watered everything. And it was a heavy dew. I mean, heavy, heavy dew that watered everything, and everything was so lush, just like it is here in the Philippines. But we get lots of rain now, you know. But that's the way it was for centuries, and that's biblical, guys. That's for biblical information. And there wasn't oceans back then, right? It was just wide rivers, lakes, and stuff like that. So as you can see, it's pretty muddy. You know, and there's a couple motorcycles that have been back here, you know, neighbors and stuff. But we're coming out into an area that I really love. It's right next to my property, borders my property, and someday I would love, if I won the lottery, I would love to try to purchase this property because it's attached to my property, and it's beautiful grasslands. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful grasslands for, you know, cattle grazing. And they do have some cattle. You know, there's one right there hiding kind of in the shade, if you can see it right there. And this is about a 20 to 40 hectare area that I would really just love to purchase someday, if that ever should happen. Then I'd fence the whole thing, gate and fence it, and I could really have a good foothold of land, grazing land for a nice herd of cattle, of like 50 cattle. I don't really want to go over 50, but that's about the area I'd want to stay in for the future of the herd. You know, be able to have, you know, like 20 calves every spring, you know, and be able to butcher, you know, at least 2 cow every year. And usually that's what a normal sized family would need to sustain itself, is probably 2 whole cattle or cows. You know, it'd probably be like a steer, which is your bull, right? Which is your neutered bull. And then now we're getting down to the stream, and then this is my property. This here pipe is a water pipe that the neighbors have, and actually it's a senator. It's a province senator that gave funds, because there's another water source well way up this hill, before this creek, way up the hill, and they're transferring water from that water source through this pipe all the way down way over here, and they have a massive garden. It's basically a state-funded project of growing vegetables. So the community comes twice a week, and they plant and harvest and weed and do all that stuff, right? And harvest lots of vegetables. And then the profit of that goes to the community, and it's one of the state-funded, you know, gimme handout deals to help the community that the government does here, which is, you know, it's pretty cool. Keeps people busy. Plus, you know, because most people here can't afford land, so that's the deal. People that do have land here, it's from generations ago, where they were smart enough not to ever sell it. So here's my creek, and here's my fence line right here. So I own, my property goes into this creek, which then this creek branches up into the mountain and goes way up to the top of the mountain over here, and that's the south side of my property. See, and then this creek here running along my fence line. This is the west side of my property. And then there's chickens here. Hear that rooster? There's wild chickens everywhere in here. And they always follow the cows around and eat the seeds in their poop and stuff. So you can see here, there's a rooster, and there's a hen. They're just wild in here. They're all over. So It's really beautiful here. This is my 5 hectares where I've cleaned. This is all thick jungle used to be, right? And I cleared all this out, guys. And there's my coconut steaming shack up in there. And my cow Rosie is somewhere up in there over the ridge. We'll see her in a minute. But I just wanted to show you this, and I'll do one more video. We're relaxed by the creek, and I'll show you some more stuff. So that's it for now. It took 15 minutes to get here, the last mile, so just walking and talking. So I love you guys as always, and until the next video, please share, like, and subscribe. Love you guys, and God bless. Bye-bye.